Pizza Hut has lost more than 1,000 US locations in the last 5 years. And that should stop you in your tracks. Because during that same time, Americans didn't stop eating pizza. They ate more of it, to the tune of 3 billion pizzas a year. Slice for slice, Americans eat more pizza than Italians by a mile. So here's a real question. How does the most iconic pizza brand in American history lose over 1,000 stores while demand for pizza hits all-time highs? That contradiction is the entire story. This is a story about how pizza took over America, how 4 national chains fought a decades-long war for dominance, how Pizza Hut built one of the most beloved restaurant empires ever created, and how slowly, quietly, and painfully that empire collapsed. And right now, those same forces are creating a once-in-a-generation opening for a new wave of pizza brands. Smaller, faster, fresher, built for how people actually eat pizza today. And one of those brands is already emerging. But to understand why, we have to start at the beginning. Pizza didn't start in America. But America is the country that turned it into an industry. The first pizzeria in the US opened in 1905 in New York City. And for nearly 50 years, pizza barely left a few neighborhoods. Then World War II changed everything. American GIs stationed in Italy tasted real Neapolitan pizza. They came home obsessed. Demand exploded almost overnight. In the 1950s alone, pizza consumption in the US grew by more than 600%. But here's the overlooked part. Pizza didn't scale because it was exotic. It scaled because it was industrializable. Cheese got cheaper, supermarkets standardized ingredients, and frozen pizza became a national product, largely thanks to a Minneapolis housewife named Rose Totino, who figured out how to freeze pizza dough without it turning into cardboard. That single breakthrough helped turn pizza from a restaurant novelty into an everyday American staple. By the 1960s, pizza was the fastest growing food in the country. By the 1970s, pizza chains were multiplying coast to coast, and by the 80s, pizza was fully mainstream, a multi-billion-dollar category still accelerating, and one brand had already separated itself from the pack. It's Pizza Hut. Now, Pizza Hut started in 1958 when 2 brothers borrowed $600 to open a pizza shop, a tiny one, in Wichita, Kansas. Now, they only had enough space for 8 letters in the logo, hence the name Pizza Hut. It was never supposed to be an empire, but they made one decision that changed everything. They stopped selling pizza and started selling family night. At the exact moment when America was fleeing cities for the suburbs, Pizza Hut built restaurants right into strip malls and new neighborhoods. Red roofs, cozy booths, stained glass Tiffany lamps, the iconic red cups, the lunch buffet, pan pizza arriving at the table, sizzling in cast iron. Pizza Hut didn't just feed families, it hosted them. Birthday parties, Booker Awards, Little League celebrations, and the timing was perfect. From 1970 to 1990, Pizza Hut opened thousands of locations. At its peak, a new store was opening roughly every 20 hours. By the 1990s, Pizza Hut controlled nearly 25% of all US pizza sales. This wasn't just the biggest pizza chain in the world. It was one of the biggest restaurant brands, period. More than 10,000 locations globally, billions in annual revenue, and enough cultural reach to deliver pizza to the International Space Station. Pizza Hut literally delivered pizza to space before it delivered a modern app experience. And that detail there is important, because while Pizza Hut was sinking billions into dine-in real estate, the world was quietly moving in the opposite direction. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, American behavior changed. Families stopped sitting down as much. Shopping malls slowed, long-form dining declined, delivery and takeout became default. And this is where the pizza war was won and lost. Pizza Hut was built for dine-in. Domino's was built for delivery. Pizza Hut locations were massive, often 3 to 4 times larger than a Domino's. Domino's stores were small, lean, and optimized for speed and consistency. And when delivery took over, those dining rooms didn't disappear. They just stopped paying for themselves. The pressure compounded. Large Pizza Hut franchise groups, not just individual franchise owners, began failing. And when a major franchisee collapses, you don't just lose one store. You lose dozens, sometimes hundreds. And that's how decline accelerates. By the time COVID hit, many locations were already fragile. Dining rooms closed, costs stayed fixed, delivery surged, but the infrastructure wasn't built for it. Since 2019, more than 1,000 US Pizza Hut locations have closed. Not because pizza declined, because the model no longer matched how America eats. Here's the most important takeaway so far. Pizza demand has never been stronger. The US pizza market is now worth more than $46 billion annually. There are over 75,000 pizzerias nationwide, and pizza is the #1 most delivered food on every platform. But the giants are no longer growing. Pizza Hut is shrinking. Papa John's is largely flat. Little Caesars is retrenching from high-rent urban cores. And even Domino's, the dominant story of the last decade or two, has seen US growth slow. Meanwhile, artisan and fast casual pizza concepts are growing nearly twice as fast as the legacy chains. Why? Because consumers now want fresh dough, higher quality ingredients, smaller formats, local energy, authenticity, and modern brands that feel human. They don't want carpeted dining rooms from 1986. They don't want corporate pizza. They don't want 45-minute delivery windows. And this right here is the opening. A rare moment where demand is exploding, but legacy supply is losing relevance. And when that happens in any category, new winners don't emerge slowly. They emerge fast. So after everything I've just shown you, who's shrinking, what's breaking with the biggest pizza brand of all time, and where the gaps are opening, the question is why? Why are the giants failing while demand hits all-time highs? Wharton, one of the top business schools in the world, published a study recently called the Quality Speed Conundrum. And the idea is dead simple. For decades, every food business was built on a trade-off: fast or good. Pick one. Domino's picked fast, fine dining picked good. Pizza Hut tried to be everything and ended up being nothing. And that ship has sailed. Speed is the baseline now. Quality is the expectation on top. Both. Not one or the other. And the brands that still make you choose, they're the ones closing 1,000 stores right now. So the question for any pizza brand right now is simple. Can you do fast and good? And after weeks of scouring franchise disclosure documents and reviewing locations, I found one that can. Come have a look. Welcome to Cascadia Pizza. Right, so the first thing you notice, there's nothing extra. There's no massive dining room, no dead space, there's no carpet you're paying rent on just because that's how pizza used to be. Everything here exists for one reason: to move great pizza fast. This entire space is less than 2,000 square feet. Your old school, typical pizzeria runs 3,000 to 5,000. A Pizza Hut? Even bigger, which means a fraction of the rent, a fraction of the build out, and a fraction of the fixed overhead before you even sell a single slice. And the whole thing is built for 75 to 80% takeout. Cascadia doesn't need full dining rooms to survive. It's built to make money at normal volumes. And the total investment? About $346,000 to $676,000. And that includes a mobile food unit or a food truck. That's roughly half of what you'd spend on a Little Caesars and a third of what you'd spend on a Pizza Hut. Let that sink in for a second. Now remember, fast and good. And here's fast. Italian-made Mugnani ovens. They're 100% wood-fired, not gas-assisted pretended to be wood-fired. They're apple wood from East Washington. And about 90 seconds per pizza, 90 seconds. And here's good. They have hand-stretched dough made with shepherd's grain flour, locally sourced ingredients, Neapolitan style with the char and craft of the Neapolitan with the structure of New York. This is fine dining in a fast casual setting. And that's not my line, that's how the founders describe what they've built. 90 seconds, artisan quality. All right, Tommy, I'm gonna try it now. If this isn't any good, we're gonna have to pack up, kill this script, find another place. So it better be good. It's really, really good. Top 2 pizzas I've ever had in my life. You want to take a break and go on? I'll take a piece. It was really, really good. Really good. Now look around the kitchen. There's no fryers and no grills. There is a hood system, but they inherited. Didn't have to pay for it. And with wood-fired ovens, you don't need one. That saves franchisees on average about $100,000 per build-out alone. And that makes permitting dramatically simpler. Now, count the stuff with me. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. That's the whole team running this place, and that's all they need. They have fewer SKUs, fewer mistakes, less chaos, and better consistency. And here's the bit that got me. 80% of Cascadia's signed franchise owners had zero food experience before they signed. None. So no worries if you've never made a pizza in your life. The model is that simple. Now here's where Cascadia really separates itself. Most food franchises give you one revenue stream, your store. But Cascadia, it gives you 3. 1, you get the brick and mortar behind me. 2, you get a mobile food truck, which comes with the franchise agreement. And 3, you get a catering operation that can serve 300 people an hour. That food truck goes operational in the first 90 to 120 days while the store's being built. So you're out there generating revenue and building a customer base before you even open the doors. 3 revenue streams. No other pizza franchise I know is structured like this. This store isn't fighting modern behavior. And finally, the brand feel. Look, this place doesn't feel like corporate pizza pretending to be local. It actually feels local, because it is. They call it the missing middle, the gap between mass-produced chain pizza and $25 a pie sit-down restaurants. It's high quality, fast casual speed with a fraction over the overhead. Nobody's really filling that space. Cascadia now is. So what can this model actually earn? Look, Cascadia is a very young system. It's less proven, and that's a trade-off. But you do get A-grade territory, lower fees, and direct access to the founders. Now, when we pull up the franchise disclosure document, we'll see that their top location does $2.4 million in revenue. And net margins across their company-owned stores range from 16 to 21%. Let that satisfy for a second. In a food business. And the first group of franchisees are hitting average revenues of 1.1 million in their first year, with their average gross profit coming in at 376,000. That is a cracking start. See, food gets a bad rap for razor-thin margins, but this model just doesn't appear to allow for that. You have 4 staff, less than 2,000 square feet, no hood, no bloat. So as long as the franchise owner executes the playbook, this thing holds proper margins. Pizza Hut didn't collapse because pizza stopped working. It collapsed because the world changed and the model couldn't keep up. And whenever a giant steps back in a category this big, someone else steps forward. Not by copying the past, but by building for how people actually live, eat, and order today. And that's why Cascadia isn't trying to be the next Pizza Hut. It's something better. A next generation pizza brand built for speed, quality, and modern economics, without the baggage that took the old giants down. And that's why right now, this is the pizza franchise I'm most confident standing behind.